November, it's still morning, right? Yeah, November 14th. Um, looks like things have loosened up here now. Of course, the pens are empty. Very heartbreaking. There is a candle vigil at the farm today. Started at 11, goes till late. I can see the police lines down. That's looks like Bev back there. I understand they're likely allowed past here now because Bev, she's been doing ceremonies there. The police let her go past multiple times to do some ceremony, I believe, at a cedar tree. It's some indigenous ritual or whatever you want to call it, practice. And I don't know if everyone's allowed across yet. I don't believe anyone is doing that. There might be some confusion. I know the neighbors here have access now back to their property. The property's been very severely damaged with, as you can imagine, the ruts and all the nightmare fucking million cars coming and going and trucks and trailers. And this poor guy's garlic patch is, I've seen what they've tried to salvage, and it's clear that it's gone past the time of picking. The tops are sprouting and they're split, and it's really unfortunate. I hope he's able to salvage some of his prized garlic because he's been, I forget what the method's called, but you pick your best garlic every year and then you plant those ones, and then you pick your best garlic out of that year and then you plant those ones, and you do that every year as it goes on. And yeah, he has big, beautiful garlics. Like, they're really, really nice. I'm a huge garlic guy. And I don't know if that's common for like farmers or something, but I've never had the privilege of having big, beautiful, strong garlic like his were like a baseball. Yeah, I've never seen those in grocery stores or nothing, and I'm a huge garlic guy. So, very unfortunate. The damage, I mean, it's priceless in a sense because I don't know if it's just a hobby. Well, I think he had customers as well, so it's kind of a hobby business. But a lot of work and a lot of pride, and yeah, anyways, very unfortunate. So there's a candle vigil. Of course, there's a lot of people showing up for that. I think there's vigils. I've been so busy with other things that I haven't been able to keep up, but I think there's vigils all over. So a lot of people are expected to be coming to the farm. A lot of people have been showing up. And Super Save, well, they're getting put through the ringer, rightfully so. There's, from what we're being told by multiple contractors, is that not only are they being boycotted, rightfully so, and now they've got these birds that we strongly believe are still in the bins, and they were seen today spraying everything down because they're getting complaints left, right, and center. Like, there's been calls out to make complaints to the city and to CVSE and the workers, work comp and work safe and all that. So I can only imagine the inundation of complaints and inquiries that are going to these agencies. And they were seen spraying down around those bins. Now, whether that's just because the birds were in there and, they didn't use proper, biocontainment methods, and they're just spraying it down, or there's witnesses saying that these bins are leaking, and well, obviously, like, we've had rain and stuff like that, so I don't know exactly if they're leaking when it's not raining or what, but there's smells being reported. They have been for days. So I don't know. I have a couple working theories. One of which is, like, now they're saying that they were buried in a deep hole. I think they're trying to cover their ass. They're saying they're buried in a deep hole at a BC landfill. That's what the news is reporting. I do believe that at least two of the bins were buried in Ladner, or maybe they're sitting in Ladner. It's hard to say for sure. Well, so we do know that two of the bins that went to Ladner left. They went on a flat deck with two bins on that flat deck, and they left on roll-off trucks that carry one bin at a time, and we could tell for sure by the videos of the string and the scratches on this particular bin. And the one person who was following it banged on it, and she's a trucker, and she says it sounded hollow. So that obviously leads us to believe that those two bins were probably quickly dumped in Ladner and then you know, they were followed. Someone actually got pulled over for following them. You know, the girl got pulled over was just honest. She just said, "Hey man, this is what's going on. The family wants to know where these birds' resting place is. They've had them for 35 years and they're animals." And the cop was like, "Fair enough," and let her go with just like, "Okay, just don't do that," you know, like a warning or whatever. You know, that's called humanity, right? They still want to know, you know, they would like to see a lot more, like bullet holes, test them, you know, things like that. Count them, of course, but that's long gone now, unless maybe some miracle like this, you know, someone in the States gets those birds exhumed. But I mean, that's a tall order. Um, so there's a couple working theories of my own, and I've been on this, as you know. Um, Either one of them made it and got dumped, and the other one, either he was driving slower or whatever, they didn't get there at the same time. And because members of the public showed up, and this was obviously meant to be secret, like there's no way they were going to announce, like even now they're saying BC landfill. They're not saying Ladner. Right now, everyone in Ladner is going to be fucking losing their minds. Like, you're dumping these so-called contagious biohazards, like not following proper protocol, hundreds of tons of fucking waste, and just the whole idea of it, because it's so wrong, right? Like, most people, I think, are against it. Like, you know, there's a fair number of people, the TV watchers, who just trust their TV and they don't have alternate, you know, outlets for their information. And of course, you know, they listen to these liars like the CFIA and mainstream media. CBC, of course, is the worst. So there are some of those, but there's a huge numbers growing every day of people that don't consume that garbage anymore, and they know better. So people in Ladner, that's where I'm from, are not happy, and they have a lot of inside sources, because I'm getting a lot of messages like, yeah, they had holes pre-dug. You know, they were I was told they were supposed to split them up from the compost side and then the landfill side. They had like two areas. So my working theory is that because of the public showing up in Ladner, there's a good chance that after the one was already too late to stop the one from getting dumped, but then whoever did the backdoor handshake was like, hey man, like this was supposed to be fucking secret. Like no one was supposed to find out which dump it was. Like you can't bring another one here with all these people and cameras. Like no way. And so there's that one working theory that truck would have got turned around or stopped from dumping, the second truck with the two other bins. And that's how it ended up back at Super Save on 190th to figure out what are we going to do with these. And then on top of that, like you got thousands of people on this from their homes and their cell phones, and then you got people on the ground as well, and they're all calling and making emails and doing everything they can to, you know, throw a wrench in things or get a look at them or just find out they're in their last resting place, get some closure, whatever your reason is, they're all valid. And the other working theory is that perhaps CVSE, because some of them were very interested and concerned when we said, yeah, they're moving tons of dead, so-called contaminated biohazardous waste, no placards, not, you know, they're supposed to be double bagged, and like there's this huge procedure when you're handling stuff like this. Like it's a nightmare, a logistical nightmare. And this was obviously rushed, right? Firing squad, right? This is not normal. So, you know, when you rush things, you make mistakes. And so the other possibility is the CVSE got a hold of them, because they did say, they were like, if we see them, like we're going to get them. And even like sitting there at fucking Super Save, like to move that, if they're there, to move that is not going to be easy for them if they follow the rules. And now they have all this heat on them, they're going to have to follow the rules. So they might be totally like just baffled as to what to do. Because I mean, we're going on like 4 or 5 days now, so if they're in there, they're obviously having a hard time finding a spot. There's rumors of them getting permits to dump them in the ocean. But this is not an easy task, right? Like they tried months and months ago to get permission to dump them in the landfills around here, maybe Castlegar or, you know, nearby area. And they said, no, not unless you test them, all right? We're not going to take, you know, you're not going to take if you're murdering a healthy animal, like we're not going to take them here. And that actually saved their life once, because they were on chopping block and they needed that time to get that court emergency relief. It's hard to it, but they were close to it, the execution that day. I'm going to answer this while I'm on here. Excuse me. Anyone who's been watching this and wants to participate or help out, the bins are on the move. I don't know where they're going, but they're likely going to have police escort, and they're probably going to want to stop people from following them and finding out where they're going. So, you know, work as a team. A lot of you guys are friends on Facebook. You all got messengers together. Stay on it. I know CVSE needs to be contacted ASAP. Shit, yeah, so I guess here we go. We're going to find out where these bins are going. Or we're not. Hard to say. But the bins are on the move. And here's this. I'm just driving by this mess here. Of course, here's a lovely going away present they left. Like, what is that? That's just a middle finger is what that is. What was the purpose, other than to just cause more problems, more heartache, more pain? What purpose is it to leave a mess like that? Right? Like, that's clearly malicious. They were all perfectly square bales a few days ago. What the hell would they have to do that for? So today is a bit of a busy day because of the vigil and everything. I was planning on doing a breakdown of the money that was raised for trucks. We raised about $3,000. Almost all of it's been spent, so we're going to do a breakdown. I'm going to do a breakdown and a thank you to all the people who donated, and just so everyone knows, show the receipts and everything like that, so everyone knows. But I'll probably either do that later tonight or tomorrow. And thank you for everyone who did donate. It's greatly appreciated. I think there might be a little bit of money left over, not much, and we might be participating, or I might be participating in the November 22 farmer convoy, and there's one leaving from Colossus, there's one in Kelowna, and they're all over. So we might rent a big truck for that. With the extra money, we're not sure if we're participating or if that's going to happen, but anyways, that's coming, and thanks again for the people who did donate. It's greatly appreciated. Other than that, yeah, so I don't know if I finished what I was saying with Super Save. So not only are they being boycotted, which is rightfully so, of course, now they're actually a liability. So contractors and like construction companies around all over are like at risk of like more thievery, vandalism, and other problems, and like boycotting if they use the Super Save products. So a lot of construction sites are saying, no, like we can't have that on there because we don't want our tools getting stolen or our site getting vandalized or whatever, because there's so many pissed off people out there. So I'm not gonna condone or whatever thievery and this and that, but fuck, there's consequences to your decisions like that. And a big company like Super Save, they make a lot of money, but when you're big like that, you have a fine margin. And I wouldn't be surprised if this ended up tanking them, especially with this bird scandal that's just going day after day after day, like it's keeping their name in the spotlight. So super shame. They are hurting, and they're leaking a lot of dough. So that was probably their biggest mistake they've made probably ever, because I wouldn't be surprised if this tanked their company. But even if it doesn't tank their company, like, I bet you they've lost thousands of contracts. I mean, thousands times thousands of dollars. You're in the millions. So shame on them, and get what's coming to them. So that's it. Hopefully you can make it out to a vigil in your area, and remember, this is only the beginning of the fight. So now we're on the offense, and yeah, you can follow Darcy. I think he's at the doing a live at the Super Save right now. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna hook on to Darcy.